Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW
That is
West
so
Texas.
exciting, and we're so happy to be a part of that. And this expansion is going to allow them to be able to meet the needs they currently have, as well as the increased demand that they are seeing throughout West Texas.
West Texas Gifts of Hope received a $400,000 grant to help them expand the Hope House, get a larger laundry room and more storage. We have more details on this expansion coming up in just a few minutes. Thanks for joining us for CBS7 News on the CW, and thanks for joining us live on the CBS7 YouTube. I'm Mary Kate Hamilton. We start tonight tracking crime. An Odessa man is in jail after he assaulted another Odessan with a golf club. According to OPD, this man, 30-year-old Anthony Chavez, is being charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon after causing life-threatening injuries to a 44-year-old man. The victim was airlifted to a Lubbock hospital, and there are no other details on his condition at this time. 19-year-old Greg Barrera will spend 60 years in prison and pay a $10,000 fine after he was found guilty of killing 19-year-old Samuel Anaya at a rap concert in 2021. The guilty verdict comes after nearly a week of trial and 3 hours of jury deliberation. Evidence showed Barrera shot Anaya 5 times behind Kessler's Hall in Midland, and investigators do believe the shooting was motivated by fights among different groups involved locally in rap music. Barrera is now back in police custody after being free on bond pending trial, and he will now have to serve at least half of that 60-year sentence before the possibility of parole. The new year will bring a new facility to the Ector County Sheriff's Department. The department is operationalizing an existing building as a West Odessa headquarters. The building, located behind Buddy West Elementary, should be upgraded and running in the next 30 to 45 days. In the new year, it'll be outfitted as an official annex. That means holding shift offices, the training lieutenant, and the potential to become a command center with communication feeds from other public safety agencies in emergency situations.
When we get everything set up, get the internet rolling and get phone lines in and all that stuff, we're going to occupy that building at least 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. And then we're going to move our patrol shifts offices out there. Of course, most of our business is in West Odessa.
Once the annex officially opens, the Sheriff's Department will notify the public. Griffiths hopes to open more annexes in places like Pleasant Farms and Gardendale. He says this is a great start.
Seeing their presence out here a little more has made me feel a little more at ease, and you know, they do have our backs, and so far I've had nothing but good to say about the Sheriff's Department.
I feel safe because the Sheriff's Department is able to come into school and able to arrest them and put them in jail for a really long time, so I feel pretty safe.
Once the annex officially opens, the Sheriff's Department will notify the public. Griffiths hopes again to open even more. Now another update, Midland County Commissioners have approved the certificate of obligation for a new jail during last week's special meeting. The approval of this funding starts a 45-day window to hold a meeting to receive public input. The county says a date for the public hearing still needs to be determined. However, the county says they are certain it will fall within the 45-day window. Once they reach the end of that window, the county commissioners have to decide whether to keep moving forward with the certificate of obligation or back out. The county says the jail complex is expected to cost $170 million. Last year, the city of Midland proclaimed December 18th as Veronica Sanchez Day to honor the teenager who was a victim of domestic violence. Veronica Sanchez was known as kind and caring, who loved animals and helping people. Her mother, Jennifer Sanchez, describes her daughter as a young child with an old soul because of the amount of time she rescued animals, helped people, and was just a nice person to be around. Then, on the morning of February 17th, 2022, everything changed for Jennifer and her family.
So I basically took my child to work that morning, and within an hour, I had cops at my door, giving me the worst day of mine and my husband and my family's life. You know, you shouldn't have to go through something like this. No parent should have to lose their child like we did. They should never have to lose a child, period. But to be intentionally taken for why? That's not fair.
Veronica was murdered by her coworker that day. Jennifer says there was no relationship between them and still is uncertain what led him to do this to her daughter. Jennifer was key in helping pass House Bill 915, which helps report workplace violence.
So that this will never, hopefully, again happen to not only another child, but anyone that works in the workplace violence.
Ask for help. Cry out and say, hey, this is what I'm going through. All too often, people don't reach out, and the violence continues, and it progressively gets to the point where it becomes even something like murder.
House Bill 915 will come into effect January 1st, 2024. If you'd like more information on that hotline and when you'll be able to dial it, you can go to our website. That's CBS7.com. Across the state, the Biden administration is taking steps to deal with the surge of migrants crossing the southern border into Texas by temporarily suspending operations at the International Railway crossing bridges in Eagle Pass and El Paso. U.S. Customs and Border Protection says the temporary closing will allow Border Patrol agents to focus more on processing migrants who have already entered the country. More than 4,000 migrants crossed into Texas on Sunday alone. We'll have more on this coming up at 10. Time now to take a look at your weather forecast. Pretty lovely Monday, if a little bit chilly right now, but not too bad. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Tom Teefer-Teller. Tom?
Yeah, pretty quiet evening out there, even though it is a little bit on the cool side. But we need to first off remind everybody that the CBS7 First Alert weather app is ready for you. That free download. You scan that QR code, and so that way you can stay on top of holiday weather as it is the Christmas season, and we're only about a week away from Christmas. So be sure to download that today for your iPhone and your Android phone. Taking a look at current temperatures as we look at the community Christmas tree here in Odessa. Downtown all lit up, and we are seeing those temperatures right now into the mid to upper 40s across parts of West Texas. In the cities, we're still looking at about 50 degrees, but a chilly 44 over towards Big Spring. And taking a look at those wind gusts, calm winds, but we are going to see a southeasterly wind return to our forecast tomorrow. So relatively nice here for the start of the week before Christmas, but storm systems could equal rain chances later this week. But Santa's going to bring some nicer weather for Christmas. We'll talk more about that here in just a couple of minutes.
In 2008, Andres Rangel came to Odessa from Mexico for a better life. Since moving here, Rangel has grown into an entrepreneur. CBS 7's Jair Brooks-Davis spoke with him to learn more about his journey. Jair?
That's right, Mary Kate. Despite some tough times moving from Juarez as an immigrant, a positive attitude and mindset helped build a better future for him. In 2008, Andres Rangel, his wife, and newborn daughter moved to West Texas to begin a new life. Even though life seemed to be easier in Odessa, the family was still met with challenges.
It was hard because we was just very tight with making just week on week paycheck every week, so it was tough, really. We was just making around $400 a week.
Andres found a way into flooring, and over time, he started to make huge steps in the contracting scene.
When I learned how to do it, I decided just to, hey, let's do it for my own. That's how I started growing my business until we start building houses. Right now we build houses and then we do remodels.
Now Andres successfully owns AR Construction, a company that specializes in construction and remodeling. Now settled, Rangel has opened up a food truck with a cuisine that comes from his hometown.
We decided to bring something just a little bit different, hamburgers, tortas, tacos, with a touch of Juarez, with a different style.
Andres stays humble though, with values more important than making money and a flashy lifestyle.
I want to have time to spend with my daughter and with my wife. Just that's what I want. More freedom too. That's it. More quality.
For now, Andres is focusing on creating more business opportunities for himself in the new year. But one thing on my mind is his food truck, which I'll have to visit next time they're open. Mary Kate, back over to you.
Me too. Thank you, Jair. West Texas Gifts of Hope is another step closer to expanding and helping even more cancer patients, thanks in part to a generous donation. The Hope House is a place where cancer patients more than 30 miles outside of Ector County can stay while they receive treatment. Each patient gets their own room and a private bathroom. They also have access to a laundry room and a kitchen, and it's free of charge to the patients and up to 2 of their caregivers. West Texas Gifts of Hope received a $400,000 grant from the F. Marie Hall Foundation to help them expand. Construction on the new Hope House will start in the first quarter of 2024 and should be completed by the end of the year. Fix West Texas has officially broken ground on its new facility between Midland and Odessa. Take a look.
West Texas Dirt. Woo!
I did not. The new facility will allow Fix West Texas to increase its capacity to spay, neuter, vaccinate, feed, and house more animals. There will also be 2 veterinarians on hand at the new facility rather than just 1. They say that means they'll be able to do 80 to 100 surgeries a day. Plus, the new facility will alleviate the traffic that comes with vaccine clinics.
One thing a lot of people don't think of is we do cause a lot of traffic when we have vaccination clinics and things like that. So it's hard to get somewhere we can go. But now that we have our own place here, it's not going to cause that traffic congestion in town and at other businesses. So it's going to be huge for us to be able to do more vaccinations, more microchips.
Construction is set to be finished by early summer of next year. For the last 7 years, Black Cat Tattoo has hosted their Toys for Tattoos drive. It's a way for Black Cat Tattoo to give back to the community. The Black Cat collects toys and gives the donors double the toys worth in credit for a tattoo. If you bring in a $20 toy, you can get a tattoo worth $40 or use that credit for a bigger tattoo. Every year, the studio averages between 50 to 100 gifts dropped off by locals, but they are always looking for more.
Believe it or not, you'll even have people bring in multiple toys and they just still want the $40 credit, but they're just glad to even help out. You know, they'll even bring in a toy that's worth more than $20 and they're fine with the $40 credit. So that means a lot to us.
If you want to donate a gift, you can drop it off by the front door of the Black Cat Tattoo Parlor. Now for a look at today's top headlines shown here in real time with real viewers on CBS7.com. You can see all of these stories and even more by downloading our app or visiting our website, CBS7.com. Still ahead, the federal government has temporarily suspended operations at the International Railway crossing bridges in Eagle Pass and El Paso. We're diving deeper into that coming up. $1,071,117. That's how much money the Defense Department comptroller tells Congress is left in U.S. funding to help Ukraine fight Russia. After that, the White House says money is gone until lawmakers act. But action is stalled as Republicans push for action first on the U.S. southern border. Emily Schmidt reports a migrant surge is happening in the midst of Washington's stalemate.
On Monday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott made it a state crime to enter Texas illegally, giving local law enforcement federal-like immigration power.
Senate Bill 3 for more border wall construction is now law in the state of Texas.
Abbott, surrounded by supporters, arrived to Brownsville, Texas to protesters who fear the law will lead to racial profiling.
We need to respond with a heart and with a better system.
The system is strained. U.S. Border Patrol Chief Jason Owens tells CNN border authorities apprehended about 192,000 migrants between ports of entry last month. Tucson Sector Chief Patrol Agent says more than 37,000 migrants were stopped there in the first 2 weeks of December.
Our border has been erased. We have no border any longer.
While Republican presidential candidates blame President Biden for record high migrant apprehensions, White House and Senate negotiators are trying to work out a border deal. Without that, aid to Ukraine, Israel, and more is stalled. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell says there's progress, but it will take time.
We cannot afford to get this wrong.
Monday, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, which says it had seen a surge in migrants moving by train, temporarily halted railway operations at international crossing bridges in Eagle Pass and El Paso. The Association of American Railroads called for a policy reversal, saying in a statement, every day the border remains closed unleashes a cascade of delay on both sides of the border. Like so much on the border, multiple sides and no easy middle. Emily Schmidt, CBS7 First Alert News.
Well, it is a cool evening across West Texas, and it looks like we're going to see more of this seasonable weather before the changes move in. And we'll identify those and talk about them coming up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, let's take a look outside and a trip to Starbright Village right now, where we are seeing temperatures in McKinney Park 50 degrees. And don't forget, you still have plenty of time here over the next couple of weeks to get out to Starbright Village, look at all the sights and sounds of Christmas. Again, that continues till January 1st in McKinney Park in Odessa. High pressure in control of the weather right now. is really not moving away too much, but it is going to start to be shifted off to the south and southeast a little bit more as this trough of low pressure across the western U.S. Well, it's going to send one disturbance through. It looks like coming up later on Thursday into Friday in a weak front, but there's another system right in behind it that's going to dig down and then into West Texas and could bring a little bit of a chance of rain to our forecast coming up on Saturday. So keep that in mind with your holiday plans, your travel plans, that Saturday into Sunday we could be dealing with rain showers, even a couple of rumbles of thunder across eastern portions of the state of Texas. West Texas looks like it's mainly just going to be all showers as we move in towards the end of the week and the start of the weekend. Looking at high clouds out there right now, the radar picking up some of that high cloudiness and trying to show it up as some moisture, but really nothing falling out of the sky out there this evening. As again, we are looking at cool conditions. This trough of low pressure here at ground level, that's going to come in a little bit closer and increase those winds a little bit more tomorrow afternoon. So a south to southeast wind will be a little gusty. High temperatures across the state today. We were on the cool side of that front that still pulled up stationary here across portions of South Texas. So milder conditions, Austin south today. We stayed in the upper 50s this afternoon. Now the West Texas Futurecast showing the high cloudiness remaining around the area and continuing into the overnight, early into the morning, and all the way through the afternoon hours. We're going to see that stream across the area. So again, that's all ahead of that next storm system that's going to move through. The possibility of a couple of showers holding off later on Thursday. Rest of tonight, high clouds, chilly conditions. We should drop down into the lower 40s, it looks like. That's what we'll wake up to on Tuesday. Lower 60s for tomorrow afternoon to near 70 in Fort Stockton. So again, we're going to see those gusty south and southeast winds will translate into some slightly milder to warmer temperatures in our forecast tomorrow. Been really seasonable weather here over the next couple of days before we see the start of winter come in with a few clouds and maybe a shower with that disturbance, and the front rolls through on Friday, so a break from the rain before it starts to move back in with another disturbance coming in on Saturday. That's when we'll have a 40% chance, so keep that in mind with holiday plans. But the good news is, for Santa's arrival coming up late Sunday and into Christmas Day on Monday, chilly conditions, clear skies in the forecast.
Still ahead, fentanyl is now considered the deadliest drug in Los Angeles. We'll tell you more about what this means in your health headlines on CBS 7 News at 9. In your health headlines, fentanyl is now the deadliest drug in Los Angeles County, surpassing methamphetamine for the first time in recent years. According to new figures from the LA County Department of Public Health, the synthetic opioid was linked to more than 1,900 accidental overdose deaths countywide in 2022, compared to 109 deaths in 2016. The crisis is having a disproportionate impact on Black and homeless populations who are dying at significantly higher rates than any other group.
We also have a lot of work to do to ensure ready access to naloxone, which is the opioid overdose reversal medication, across all communities, including communities where we have more individuals who are Black or brown.
Public health officials say the best way to avoid an overdose is to not use drugs at all. For those who do, experts do recommend keeping a drug like naloxone on hand, using fentanyl test strips, and not using drugs alone. Still ahead, it turns out apes can miss their long-lost friends too. We have the fascinating new finding up next. All right, Tom, I thought this was really cool. New research shows apes can recognize old friends they haven't seen for decades, and it's now the longest lasting social memory ever documented outside of humans. So researchers found that chimpanzees and bonobos were able to recognize photos of former group mates more than 25 years after seeing them in the flesh. Researchers used photographs of apes who had died or left groups from 3 different zoos. And researchers left 2 photographs, one of the ape they had known and another of a stranger. And the results found that the apes looked significantly longer at those they knew, no matter how long it had been since they last saw them, and even longer still with those that they had been close with.
Interesting.
I mean, that is pretty darn cool.
What a study, I'll
and,
tell you.
You know, just shows. Check in with your friends this holiday.
Yes,
because we miss them. All right, thanks for watching us here at 9 on the CW. We've got more coming up tonight at 10.